Right, what's up and welcome guys. Today I'm going to do something that I feel like a lot of people should do more of, and I'm going to share with you a bunch of my revenue streams, how you can make money and stuff like that. And the reason being behind it is because I watched another YouTuber in a different niche to me who was teaching people how to do like live streaming and stuff. He was showing all of his revenue streams, how he makes money, how to deal with brand deals and all this kind of stuff. And I found that video extremely interesting. So I thought, why the hell not make one for myself and make one for the skateboarding niche? Now, I am by no means one of the most well-paid skateboarders out there by a long shot, but I've slowly built myself a career that is now sustainable just from the videos I make, and I can pay all my rent, all my bills, and all of that just from skateboarding and making videos. So, and I know a lot of people want to do something similar, so I'm going to share everything that I do, all the ways around it, how to deal with brand deals in this space, and just all the things that I've learned so far, because I think that everybody seems to be so scared to share how much money they make. The first thing that we're going to do is go over my YouTube ad revenue, then we're going to go over my TikTok revenue, my Instagram revenue, because yeah, you can make money from Instagram, Facebook revenue. We're going to go over brand deals and how much they pay for different categories and how you can get more money for them. And finally, we're going to go over a few additional things that I do, like adding music onto videos for certain people, and just a few additional revenue streams that just sprinkle a little bit on top. They're by no means massive income streams, but we're going to still go over everything and how we make money. So with all that being said, let's get straight into it. So the first thing we're going to go over is YouTube ad revenue, right? So this is something that I've been building slowly over time, and I've got my charts ready here. If we go over to, so we're going to get to how much I've made this month, because obviously this month is my best so far. Don't worry, this isn't this month. So if we go over to last 28 days, in my last 28 days, I've had 4.6 million views and I've made £1,214. Now, most of these views are from shorts, which is why my CPM would seem so low. And as you can see here, we've had 426,000 in the last 2 days. Also, we're nearly at 104k subscribers, so wink wink, shout out for that. But what we're going to do now is we're going to look at our month by month earnings and how it is built over time. So if we go to February and then click on revenue, and then we can show from February 2023, I made only £58.20. So this is when like they first added the shorts monetization fund, and I had just been monetized on my main channel. So my long form videos, I was making very few of them, so I was making hardly any money in that category, but it does slowly build over time. And in December, I actually started doing long form content like full time properly. So it has built nicely since then. But as you can see here, from February 2023, we made only £58.20. From March, £104.11. From April, £240. I think this is when I released the hotel skate park video, so this was definitely a good month for us. And then it slowly died down because that video blew up, and then it slowly died down a bit. And then we got another viral video in July. I think this was a short that had like 10+ million views in the end. That got us quite a bit. For shorts, obviously you don't get paid anywhere near as much, like not even 10% of what you would get paid in long form, but it was still a nice little boost nonetheless, and it paid for me and the boys to go on some trips, which is another thing I want to get over on this video. We're going to go over how I spent the money and how I've used it to invest in content to make more in the future. So in August, we did £504, and then as it gets into September, the winter time, obviously you can't make as much content, especially in the winter in the UK. So the revenue does drop off a little bit. In October, I think one of my videos got another little boost, and then November we had a fairly low £386. And then in December, bear in mind in December, right, you get the most money as in your CPM is the highest, because companies pay more for advertisement spaces in December due to the fact that in Christmas, a lot more people are buying in December for people. And it basically depends how many people are seeing your ads and then buying something from them. That will boost your income quite nicely. So that's why we got a nice little boost in December at £729. At this point, I was feeling really good because this was mostly off long form content and my shorts weren't doing as well, but I was feeling a lot more happy with the content I was making. And then January is notoriously known for being quite a low CPM because not many advertisers are paying for spaces in January. They put most of their dollars in December. And then February, we did a surprising 834, because that's actually also known as one of the lower ones. So with that all being said, we then go back to our last 28 days, and you can see we've got £1,214 in the last 28 days, which is by far my best one yet, which is what inspired me to make this video. I wanted to share a bunch of things, but this is probably only about a third of the income we make here. So that's the YouTube revenue out of the way. And obviously, like I said, this is mostly from shorts. Now, one platform that people are sleeping on, in my opinion, and now a lot of creators are starting to get onto it and know that this is a really good one, but TikTok. TikTok used to pay you absolutely feck all, right? Say, for example, you got 1 million views on a TikTok like 6 months ago, 8 months ago, you would maybe get 40, 50 pounds, which is like $70, $75, something like that. And that's for 1 million views. But then TikTok added this thing called the creativity program. And basically what that does is if you post a video over 1 minute long, then that can get you paid nicely. So we're going to jump into my TikTok revenue, but nowadays you can probably get 5 to 8 times what you could have done. So I'm going to screen record my phone here and we're going to go over that real quick. I don't know if I'm allowed to show this stuff on YouTube, as in not like via TikTok's terms of service, but hey, I'm going to do it anyway because I like to be as transparent with my people as possible. As you can see here, in my last 28 days on TikTok, I've had £561.58. Now, this is from only 3 million views, so that's like what? £180 per million views, so that's like 3 times as much. And bear in mind that these views, they don't count replays. So if someone watches the reel twice, or watches the TikTok twice, I should say, then it doesn't count that as a second view. So you actually get paid a considerable amount more on TikTok now than what you did in the past. And one annoying thing, right, is that if Instagram added something like this, we'd be getting so much more, but Instagram just refused to pay their creators, which I find is so annoying and so ridiculous because it just makes me unmotivated to post on TikTok whatsoever. But anyway, so now we've got that. That's 1,214 plus 561. I've added them totals up on screen so you can see exactly what the monthly income is so far, and we're going to jump into the next platform. So the next thing we're going to go over is brand deals. Now, brand deals are something that is very hard to judge because a lot of companies will reach out to you and they'll be like, oh, we want you to do this and we want to just give you the product for it. I will warn you, never do a brand deal that's just for the product. One, the product doesn't pay the bills, but there are some exceptions, and I think that if you use the product daily and you are actually buying it before the brand reaches out to you, like they're doing it to you as a sort of loyalty thing because they see you supporting them, if you're using that product / brand all the time, I feel like it's worth it sometimes just to get the free product if it's going to save you some money. But if you're not using the product already, more often than not, it's going to benefit the brand way more than it is you, especially if you're introducing them to 100,000 new eyes, 10,000 new eyes. Do not accept brand deals just for free product. Now, I actually had a sponsor reach out to me like a year ago and they asked me to do that exact thing, to do the brand deal, and they wanted to do it monthly, right? So they would send me a box of stuff every month and they wanted 1 post a month. Now, if I was doing a brand deal for a big company, I've been paid upwards of like £1,500 to £3,000 just for 1 short form video. I've never done a brand deal on a long form video because I feel like my YouTube content, it has quite a way to grow before I start adding brand deals, especially ones outside of the skateboarding niche. I do have a few lined up that I think are cool skateboard products that I've just charged them a small amount because I feel like if it's a skateboard company and it supports what you love, you need to show a bit of support back. Give them like a one-time offer of a really cheap price. Do the brand deal, especially only if you like the product though, because for example, I don't accept any brand deals of things that I don't do myself, because I had this one offer once that was like for a vape style thing and they offered me £5,000 for a video, but I don't vape. I've never vaped. At the time I was smoking, but I still, even if it was a smoking deal, I still wouldn't have promoted it to my audience because a lot of you are younger people and I just feel like that's a bit disingenuous for me and a bit shady in my opinion to promote smoking to kids. So anything like nicotine related I'm not into, but yeah, they offered me £5,000 for it, and don't get me wrong, a part of me, I will full disclosure admit that I thought about it, but my morals do not let me do that. I would not promote anything like that I feel like is dangerous to my audience. At the end of the day, you guys are the most important thing to me. So I'm only going to promote things that I think would benefit you in the first place. But some brand deals are good. Like for example, I did a video for Virgin Media when they said, how many kickflips can you do in 30 seconds? Post that and just tag us in it. And they paid me £1,500 for that. And that was literally like 10 minutes work of filming and then about 10 minutes work of editing. So 20 minutes work, £1,500. Like when you can charge a big brand money like that, do it as much as possible because that makes up for the times when you're working for a skate brand. For example, I'm doing a brand deal coming up soon with like a skateboard card related thing that I think is really cool, but I'm not going to disclose any more information about it yet. I'm only charging them $250. So take the big money from the big brands and use it to supplement the times when you want to support the smaller brands, in my opinion. Also, the skate trainers, guys. You guys have seen my advert on Amazon for skate trainers. They actually sorted me out quite nicely as well. Admittedly, I should have gone over the contract because now they're using my likeness like 3 years later and I should have put it for 12 months. So if you're signing over your likeness, make sure there's a time limit on it because you need to learn from that mistake from me for real. But either way, the product helps people. And people always message me saying how they bought the product and how amazing it is. So it's obviously helping some people. So I can't really be too mad about it. Now, I've worked with tons of brands over the years, like some big ones, some smaller ones. But on average, like the bigger ones will pay you anywhere from like £1,000 to £3,000 for a short video. And the smaller ones, you can charge anywhere between like £200 and £500 in my experience. But I'd say on average, I do about 2 or 3 of these brand deals a month and make about £1,500 from them. Not all of them get posted to my social medias because a lot of them, for example, they want to just have the video for their own marketing. And I've actually done videos for the Institute of Physics, which is like a college in London, where they've used my skateboarding videos and like they've written me a script of stuff to say and I've made the content around it. And then basically they use that content to teach people in the university cool ways to get into physics, which I find super interesting. Like some of my videos are being used to teach physics in a university in London, and I never even went to university, which I find is hilarious. And they paid nicely for that too. So stuff like that. Not all brand deals have to be posted to your socials, which I find is really good because then it doesn't really dilute my audience and I still get to use that money to fund trips and stuff. Because bear in mind, every time I go on a trip and I take my boys, I pay for everybody. I pay for the hotels, I pay for everybody's flights, and then when we're there, I usually treat them to a bit of food. Most of the time they pay for their own food and stuff, but I do like to treat them to a meal every now and then when we're out filming. So I don't just use the money for my own personal benefit, I use it to get myself into other countries to film content for you guys, and also take my boys along with me, because at the end of the day, if you've got friends that have been with you from the start, you need to take them with you to the top, because trust me, you do not want to get rid of your friends and then find new ones once you've made it to the top, because my God, you will never know if they're actually with you because of the friendship or because you've just got money now. So if you've got OG friends, keep them with you at all costs. There's nothing more valuable in my opinion than my friends. And especially Holly as well, because Holly has been with me since way before I started this content thing. And nowadays, if I was single, I wouldn't know if a bird was trying to get with me because of the content thing, because we've got a bit of money. And it's just not worth the stress and hassle. So I will never get rid of Holly. She is always going to be by my side. And my boys, certainly the same for them. And now the final thing we're going to go over is different ways that you can make money outside of these platforms. Obviously, Instagram, they have a subscription service. I already make about £100 a month from that. So that's another 100 on top of the counter. And there's also this app called Zebra that basically what they do is they let you sign up for like music and stuff. So an artist will promote songs and get them sent to you. And then if you want to put them in the background of a TikTok or a YouTube short, for example, then they will pay you like £50 to £100 per one. So you can make like a couple £100 a month from that, but I don't use that one very often anymore. So I probably make, on average, I've made about £50 a month from that. So yeah, full disclosure, that's how much money I make from content. We also have Patreon and stuff like that, but it's only like £20 a month from Patreon, as I don't really promote it that much. So guys, if you want to get into making content, I suggest you do so as soon as possible, because honestly, the longer you leave it, the harder it's going to be. And just be aware that you're going to start with almost no money coming in, but after a while you can slowly build that up and get to a point where you are now self-sustaining. Like I managed to save up enough money now that I can keep this going for months, and I don't really need to rely on my viewers to help me and stuff. YouTube memberships, obviously they do help, because I use that money to fund projects instead of like paying my bills that I do with most of this other money and putting it into trips. So if you want to help me fund projects, you can join as a YouTube member for as little as 99 cents. But other than that, guys, thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I've been pretty nervous to make it, so I'll see you later.